So, hey everyone, I'm so excited for our Zoom tonight. Last month, and I will be announcing the winners absolutely for tonight, we had our Boom Challenge of enrolling loyal customers. So, after one of our leaders, I won't take credit for it, added up all the numbers, we had realized and saw the enrollments of everyone, and so we picked out the top enrollers. And tonight, they're going to be sharing their tips with us. So these are people you've never heard from before. So I'm absolutely so excited. So if you haven't already, you're going to want to get a pen and paper and be taking notes, because these are going to be life-changing tips that you're going to be hearing tonight. So first up, I'm just looking at my list here. We have Rachel. So I'm going to go ahead and unmute Rachel.
Hey.
And hey, how are you?
Good.
So Rachel, if you just want to kind of introduce yourself, what rank you are, how long you've been in the business, and then I'll just ask you a few questions.
Okay, perfect. So my name is Rachel. I've been in the business, I think it'll actually be 2 years in July. I'm a Ruby right now, and I also promoted my husband to Ruby, and this year I will be going double diamond.
Yes. And where are you from then?
I'm in California, in Temecula.
Awesome. Yeah, awesome. Okay, so last month you had a really good number for enrollment. So we're just wondering, what do you do? What is your main source? Where do you find loyal customers? What do you say to them, if you just kind of want to wrap it all up?
Definitely. So all of my customers, probably for the last year, I would say, are all cold market. So meaning not my warm market, not people I knew, new connections. So how I make new connections, I work my business on Instagram and Facebook. So I do both. When I first started, I was doing mostly Instagram, and then just this year, actually, I started doing more Facebook. I still get more customers from Instagram. So really what helps me the most as far as like sealing the deal with customers is like making those connections with new people. So I know a lot of people feel, a lot of times you'll feel like you're in a rut, like you're sitting there saying, oh my gosh, I haven't had a customer in weeks. What am I doing wrong? There's nothing you're doing wrong. That it just, it happens that way. Like even top leaders will tell you, it happens. So all of the customers I enrolled last month weren't people I just started talking to. They're new connections that I started talking to. Say even one of them was a year ago. So what I do, say on Instagram, is, so I have been following a lot. So if you ever feel like you're in that rut, just start following new people like crazy and making those connections, like making new friends. And I just think of it like that, and not as, like, here, buy my products, or here, like messaging them about It Works. It's really just messaging someone and saying like, hey, thanks for the love on the post, and giving them a compliment. So I really focus in on making those connections and adding as many new people as possible as I can. And if I ever feel like I'm in a rut, like I'm not getting any new customers or anything, then I'll start following like crazy and go on like mass following sprees.
I totally love that. And I love the fact that you're pointing out that you've got to follow and you've got to grow new connections to enroll people. So when you're sending like a cold message, what are you saying to those people?
Well, people that like just my regular posts and aren't It Works, I'll just send them a compliment, and that's it. Like I won't bring up It Works. And usually, and then from there, they'll start watching you and seeing what you post. And because you want to be consistent, open your business daily and post. Try to do at least a one before and after picture, but not always. It's mostly just me using the product is what I've been doing lately, and I've had a lot of good success with it. So I'll post pictures of me like with product. So when I do message them, it's just building that connection, and then they'll usually message me later on saying like, oh, what are those greens that you're drinking? Or, oh, what is that you're talking about? Because I'm not selling it. I'm just sharing it like a review. So I stopped actually at the bottom of my messages, like of my posts, I stopped saying, message me to get my discount, blah, blah, blah. And I've gone to more so like reviewing the product, just looking like I'm reviewing the product. And I found that more people will ask me about it, and they've asked me, like I've gotten more interaction as far as comments on my posts as well by doing that. And then if somebody likes my product post, I will message them saying, hey, thanks for the love on my post. I noticed you liked the post about the cleanse. Would you like more information on it? And then from there, they'll either say yes or no. But even sometimes the people that say no will message you later on, because now they're seeing your posts more because you interacted. And, sometimes the people that was a no then will be a yes later on.
I totally love that, not giving up on those no's, because a lot of the time, even when you're opening up that conversation, maybe they just started following you. So it takes a little bit of time to, follow you. And then they're like, oh, she keeps posting about the greens that she keeps drinking. Or, I think that's huge. And again, being a product of the product, I find helps as well. Even for myself, I find if I slip off the whole like posting about using the products for myself, I don't see as much interaction. I'm like, what's going on? And I'm like, oh, wait, when's the last time I posted a picture of me using the product? And it makes a big difference. I had a question and now I totally lost what it was. So you would pretty much say Instagram is your go-to then?
Yeah, I would say so. Recently, I looked, and out of all the customers I got last month, 2 of them are from Facebook and the other 5 were from Instagram. So the ratio is still more Instagram, but again, working both got me more, so I would say I probably work Instagram more than Facebook. But I ended up actually, the people I meet on Instagram, I end up adding them on Facebook. So, like building that connection so they see me on both. So I guess you can say they start on Instagram and end up on Facebook.
Yeah, I totally love that point as well, as adding them on both, I think is really important. That's a really good point to make. So yeah, the question that actually came to my mind. So what would you say that you're posting? How many times a day are you posting for product posts?
Product post, I would say for sure at least 1, usually about 2 a day. Like I'll do in the morning. Sometimes I'll switch off mornings and I'll do a post about drinking my greens with breakfast. And then either around lunchtime or at night after bed, because the peak times are noon. And then for me, my peak time, I'm in California, so Pacific time, it's usually about 9 o'clock at night is when people are on their phone. So it's like midnight Eastern time. I'll do like 1 before and after, but on Facebook, I've had more success not posting a before and after right there in the post. I post it in the comments. So doing the picture in the comments, it gets them intrigued, like, oh my gosh, I'm going to look at that. And then they go and look in the comments to see, the results. It'll say something about like, oh my gosh, look at her results using the greens and wraps. I can't believe her results. And then, it just makes them more curious, like, oh, wow. It just makes them really want to try it.
That's a really good... Oh yeah, go ahead.
Just because our eyes are so trained to skip over ads, that I found doing no adsy pictures at all. And then sometimes I'll just go back and look at my Instagram, because when you pull up your profile, it'll automatically show the last 9 posts. And if it looks too almost salesy or adsy, sometimes I'll delete before and afters. Sometimes, unless it got a lot of action, then I'll keep it. And if there's not a picture of like myself using the product or a picture of myself in those 9, then I'm like, oh shoot, I need to go do a picture of me, because people like to see you and not other things. They want to know like who they're following.
Perfect. That's awesome. Yeah, those are some really, really good tips. So thank you so much for getting on this call, and thanks for sharing.
Thank you for having me.
We'll talk to you later. So next up on the call, I'll just mute. Go through all the names here. So I'm going to ask Michelle to come on. So I'm going to unmute you if you just want to say hello.
Hi. How's everybody doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm glad to be on the call. Thanks.
I'm so excited to hear all of your tips. And as we all know, you were just, we've seen that you were you're all boxing for diamonds.
Yes, I know. I'm so excited.
Which is absolutely incredible. So if you just want to share your name, how long you've been in business, and where you're
Yeah.
from.
Yeah. My name's Michelle Yoke, and I live in Naples, Florida. My husband and I and one of my 3 daughters moved down here last August. I joined the business mid-December 2016. And what else? Did I forget something?
No, I think that's it.
Okay.
Wait, sorry, when did you join?
December 2016, like mid-December.
Oh, wow, that's
2016.
awesome.
Yeah.
So you're just like flying.
Yeah. Yeah. I have a I have a background in marketing, really. So, I mean, I'm used to, knowing that that's a good way to do things, but I also really just followed what everybody else was doing that seemed to be working for them. So that was kind of how I did it. But did you want to just know like what I did within the last month, or how I got? Okay.
Just in general, and however you enroll your loyal customers.
Okay.
I think I don't remember what the number was, but I know it was a pretty high one for you.
It was 8. It was 8, I think.
Yeah, that's so awesome.
And I got most of them like in the last 5 days or something crazy like that, but I'd been working on them for a while. So I started off more on Facebook because I really didn't have an Instagram account or following or anything. And so then all of a sudden the shift happened, and I had gone through all my Facebook people, right? Like that, all my warm market. And I started to add new people, but I was like, oh, I don't know them well enough to start, I didn't want to like cold message them. So I had already some relationship being built over on Instagram. So I kind of did the switch. So most of my customers in last month came from Instagram. It was like I finally did that switch. And how I did it was, I just normally did the, posting that we're supposed to do, the kind of the 3-3 rule. I'm not religious to that, but and then of course, the 5 F's, fashion, food, fun, all that. And I just started to message people the same thing over and over again. Like I wasn't even really, I know this is really bad, but I wasn't really even saying, hey, thanks so much for the love on my post, because I was afraid if I did that then they would stop liking my posts. So I just started to say, hey, I know this is super random and I hope I'm not bothering you, but I have this program and I'm looking for some new product testers / loyal customers to try out, one of my products and let me know what they think about it. And, you get awesome perks and what do you think? And then I just kept doing that over and over and over again. And that's how I got the 5 of my 8. The other 3 came from me asking current loyal customers to give a testimonial on what they were currently using and tag me. And then people would like their posts. And then when they liked the post, I would friend them on Facebook. And then I would message them and say, hey, are you interested in that product? And so that's how I got the other 3. But really, honestly, I didn't get any of them on the first try. I had to follow up. So that was kind of how I did it. I just kept following up and saying, whatever, just that's kind of how I did it. Did that make sense? I don't know. I kind of said that fast, so sorry about that.
No, it totally makes sense. And what I actually love is because I've always recommended saying like, hey, thanks for showing the love of my post.
Yeah.
But you completely viewed it different and was like, I don't want to say that because then they might think that because they're sharing the love that they would stop sharing it because they're not interested.
Yes.
So I really like that you pointed that out and kind of, thought about how you would feel getting that message and that you might stop sharing that love if someone was to say that to you. So that's a really, really good point. I never really thought of it like that. And I think it's important to kind of think about what, it's like to be on the other end.
Yeah.
So the people that you signed, you sort of talked about, new people. So did you feel like, how often were you following up with these people, would you say?
I think that I would, when I saw that they said that they were interested and they wanted more information, I would give them more information. And then I would maybe wait a day or 2. And then I would follow up and say, hey, I know you said you were interested. Are you still interested? Because if you're not, I don't want to bug you, right? So if they said, yes, I'm still interested, then I would continue to just touch base with them maybe once every 3 or 4 days, because I didn't want to overdo it. And then I always would go over and interact with them on their Instagram account as well. And I think that's key, to say nice things and just like, Rachel said, be complimentary and just say nice things and know that regardless of whether they ever did it or not, I was still going to interact with them. So yeah, it is true that it took me, I had this one girl and she's like, yes, I do want the hair. I don't have time right now. I want the hair, skin, and nails, blah, blah, blah. And then I finally followed up with her and I said, I think this is key to say, I have one more spot, or I have one spot left, or I have one spot that just opened up. And do you want it? Because I know you wanted the hair, skin, and nails. And then all of a sudden she just went, yes. And she gave me all the information, name, address, phone number, credit card information. And I tried to say something back to her and she was already off. And I was like, okay, well, she gave it all to me. So here I go. So that was kind of funny. But yeah. And then, I forgot. I did get one guy that was a server of mine. I gave him my business card and a sample of the greens. And he was so excited that he ran to the back and he tried it right there on the spot. And he goes, I definitely want to get this, but I'm not going to be able to do it tonight. Well, that was back in March. And when we went and saw him in April, I said, so do you want to get the greens? And he goes, yes, I definitely want to get the greens. He pulled his credit card out and gave it to me and walked away and said, sign me up. I was like, okay.
Oh my gosh.
I know. So that was, I think it's really, if you can get the little samples of the greens and a business card, I think, and a lot of times, I mean, does it always work? No, but I've had a few different people that have signed up from me giving out business cards and the greens.
That is so awesome. That's really exciting. When that kind of stuff happens, it definitely gives you like that big excitement. You're like, oh my gosh, just like I in and out, and I could have not said anything, and you wouldn't have got that sign.
Yeah, yeah. So he was my first one in April.
Yeah. And I love that you had mentioned about, creating that sense of urgency. I find that's really important. And then at the end, you also said, do you want that spot? So kind of like, again, asking them, do you want that one spot? I think gives them that like, okay, I got to get my order in. Really good point as well.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing. Those were absolutely amazing tips. And I'm so excited for you to go diving.
Oh, thank you. Oh, can I share one more thing that I wanted to share? Okay, so I wanted to make sure that everybody knows I always wear this, like nonstop, always wear my lanyard. And I always have my business card on it. And one of the tips I picked up at the One Team, One Mission thing that I just went to up in Sag Harbor, Florida, they said, tell them you don't have any more and that you are going green and you just don't have any more, even though you have a bunch of them. And ask them if you can text it to them. That way you get their phone number. So you can text it to them over that. And then the other thing I found, and I love this, I found these little boxes that you can leave at businesses. It's called leadbox.com, and they've already got our stuff. So I've got it's got everything right here. The pen and the pad of paper, and you put it, I mean, it's amazing. So I just found these. These were like $8 a piece.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that is incredible.
So anyway, I haven't used these yet, but I wanted everybody to know, in case anybody else wants to try to do it in their area. Anyway,
that is awesome.
That's it.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you so much. Those are awesome. Great tips. Thanks for sharing.
Okay.
So next up we have Amanda. So I'm just going to find her and unmute her. Amanda, if you just want to say hello.
Hi.
So yeah, if you just want to kind of introduce yourself, how long you've been in the business, where you're from, and then I'll just start asking some questions.
Okay, I'm a Ruby leader. I'm Amanda, sorry. And I'm from San Antonio, Texas. I've been in the business for just over 2 years now.
That's so awesome. So last month you had a pretty good enrollment of loyal customers. Do you remember what your number was?
I don't.
No, that's okay. So if you just want to kind of dive in and share, the platform that you work off of, how you work, that kind of stuff.
Okay, so I usually try to post about 4 to 6 times a day, mostly of my daughter because she's my why. I try to make sure at least one selfie and at least one product post. And then the rest I'll do like a food post or a pair of great leggings that I like. I try to make my page as relatable and I guess pretty as possible because I don't want to look spammy. I'd say that gets me a lot more interactions. I'll also post some posts with questions on them. Like recently, since I'm 9 months pregnant, I asked people what they put in their hospital bags just to get the interaction started with people. I think that's really important.
Yeah, I love that tip of just kind of making your page look, attractive, because there are other It Works distributors out there, obviously, and we want to make sure that we're standing out. So I think that's important as well. And I love the interacting posts. I think it really shows who's watching you, because they just love to interact. And I find the same thing because I'm, pregnant as well. It's fun to just talk about babies and this and what do you need and what do they need and, what could the sex be and all the fun things that come along with it. And people just like hop right on to like tell you their advice, tell you their opinions. So it really creates that action. So when people message you about becoming a loyal customer, what do you say to them when they're like, what is a loyal customer? How would you approach that?
I actually don't use the loyal customer term at all. I found that it seems to scare people away because they feel like they have to make this giant commitment. I use the product model term, and I explain the loyal customer program as a product model program. And it seems to work. People love to, when they start, they're nervous, but then they use the products and then they want to share their products and be the product model that I'm sharing. And I think it gets them really excited.
Right. Yeah. And I feel it kind of also like you said, takes the pressure off them as well. Mm-hmm. And some people are nervous to kind of get on, a health goal. So they might say, yeah, I'd love to do that. And then, they're starting to use a product and they're like, wow, I feel so great. Which then leads to them ordering longer. So what would you feel like? Do you post before and after pictures? Do you post product of the product? Like, how do you feel you, bring on those loyal customers to you? Or do you cold message? Like, what do you?
I do before and afters, not too often. Lately I've been doing more, but usually I love sharing products that I personally use. Especially with being pregnant, I'm always using the stretch mark cream. I go through it like crazy, so I post that a lot. And the greens, I was approved by my doctor to use them, so I love throwing that out there because pregnancy can be so exhausting. So I love sharing those two especially, just because I can relate to them and I can share my results and my testimony with them.
So you kind of feel like a bit of a balance then, before and afters and being a product of the product works for you?
Yes.
Yeah, that's so awesome. I feel the same way. I mean, sometimes the before and afters give that spammy look, but I feel like people really can connect to them because sometimes they see a picture and they're like, oh my gosh, like look at how the product's working.
Exactly.
Or they can look at it and be like, wow, that looked like me there, and I really want to get to that point. And so when you have before and afters, do you delete them from your Instagram after, or do you leave them?
No, I've actually found that people will go through my page back really far, and then they'll message me like, hey, can you tell me more about this? And it's from like a month ago.
Right.
So I don't delete at all.
Okay.
I leave everything there.
And how many times a day would you say that you would post about a product?
A product, probably once, maybe two, if I feel like I'm lacking or I need to do something at night.
So is that including before and afters then, or that would be just kind of all of it?
That's all of it.
Yeah, all of it. Okay, awesome. Thanks so much for hopping on.
Thank you.
So next we have Christy up here, so if I can find her, and I'll unmute you if you just want to say hello.
Hello.
I'm so excited to hear from you. I don't remember. Do you remember what your number was?
I believe it was 15.
Awesome. So incredible.
The BOGO wraps helped too.
Sorry, the what?
The BOGO wraps.
Oh, the BOGO wraps.
Deal that we had, really helped.
Yeah, that's awesome. So if you kind of want to share, we know your name, but how long you've been in the business and where you're from?
I've been in the business for a year, and I'm Ruby, and I'm from Maryland.
That's awesome. So how would you feel that you sign loyal customers?
So I wrote down just some points so that way I can stay focused because my mind wanders. But I definitely build new relationships always. If I don't know who to message, then on Facebook, people's birthdays pop up. So I'll just go and to those people, I might like a couple pictures on their page, and then I'll just wish them a happy birthday. And then just ask them if they have any plans for that day. So that it's not business related whatsoever. But you're able to just open the door for more conversation. So that's been a big one for me. I will thank people for showing love on my posts. If they have never liked it before, then I will just say, thanks for showing, or if I haven't talked to them, I'll say, thanks for showing love on my post. And then I'll just be like, how's your day? Like, I'm not getting into the product. I'm just thanking them. And, or like, I'll compliment them after something or start a different conversation. That way it's not solely focused on product or anything like that, especially if I have not talked to them about anything else yet. So I do that, start a conversation whenever possible. When people do show interest, and I'm talking to them about it, I'm always like really clear on talking about their goals. Sometimes people will come to me and say, like, I want to try the wraps, but they're not really aware of like what they do, and their goals may not like align with what the wraps do. So like, I want to be like really specific on what they're needing, and like they can sense that when I'm talking to them, because I'm not like solely focused on whatever they said and I'm getting them set up with that. Like, I really care to help them with what they're actually wanting. So I know that helps me a lot. I am always following up with people. You have people that like won't respond to things. Like, even if you've talked about products, they won't respond. So like with them, I will just make sure to be interacting with them, and try to start a conversation like not related to products, just to build the relationship so they feel more comfortable responding at any time to me. I always also like try to end in a question. Like, even when I'm talking about products, I feel like ending in a question keeps the conversation going. And it doesn't just end it and it's like, oh, here's the information and then that's it. I'll be like, does that work for you? Or how does that sound? Something to like continue the conversation. And that is helpful for me as well. I also always offer to place the order. I feel like for me that happens, like it happens so much easier because people are busy and it is hard for them to sometimes sit down and have the time to go through something and like look at it. So I always offer to do it that way. It's just simply them sending the information and not, worrying about it. So I'll do that. And if they tell me that they want to order, but they have to wait till like a payday or something, I've had a lot of success with saying, no problem. I understand that. What day would you like me to put in the order for you? Because I can have that process on the day that you want, and I can put a pre-order down for you. So with that, I'll have their information, and then I'll just confirm what they're wanting, the day they're wanting it sent or processed, and I have put it on my calendar, and I process it that day, whatever the day they say. So.
Yeah, those were a lot of really, really good tips. One of the ones that pointed out to me is, when you end in a question, I think that's so important to end in a question, because I feel like when you just give the answer, you're not really showing that you care. You're not really engaging with them. You're just like, here's my answer. And if you order, cool. But when you ask them that question, you're showing that you're there, you're present in the conversation, you're wanting to engage with them. So I think that's really, really good point. And then I also loved how you talked about, processing their order, because I feel like that's something people really fear. And I mean, even for myself, I'm hesitant to be like, do you want me to get the order in for you? But it's all in our head, right? If we believe that people are going to be nervous about giving us their information, then they're going to be nervous. But if we're confident in it, then it makes a big difference. And I love that you just sort of said, I'll give, what's or what day can I process the order for you? You still have their order, and then you're able to process it on that day that they gave you, which is a really, really good way. So when we're kind of running out of time here, but I'm getting the 7-minute warning. But for when people talk about being a loyal customer, how do you kind of present that?
When they ask about what the loyal customer program is,
right?
I will say, how we have a lot of great perks for becoming a loyal customer, and I take everything as it comes. Like, I do not just sit there and throw out information to them until the question presents itself.
Right.
They'll ask me how much something is, and I will say, wraps are $59 at loyal customer pricing. I will continue with the conversation until they say, okay, and what is the loyal customer program? And I'll say, somebody who is a loyal customer agrees to try a product for 3 months, and how they can switch it up. There's not, it's very flexible with that. And with you wanting to try multiple products, that will be perfect for you, because we give you the chance to do that, spread out through these couple months. So, and as well as the perk points and how they can use free product with it. So
I love it. You're just kind of completely upfront. You tell them like it is. And again, I feel like it comes with the confidence in how you talk about it. If you're nervous to talk about the loyal customer program in that sense, then a lot of the time, people might sense that as well. But yeah, so those are really, really great tips. And I'm so, so happy that you were able to share them with us. So thank you.
No problem.
Okay, so we've got a few minutes left. I'm going to unmute our last speaker of the night. So Marissa, if you just want to say hello.
Hi, I'm Marissa. How are you?
So we're kind of on like a little time.
Yeah, I know. I'm gonna try to just kind of, I guess, put it all together. Well, I've been in the company for about 1 year and 4 months. I am Ruby, and my husband, I got him to executive. So with listening to everybody, I kind of do a mixture of all of them. Like, I'm always at least posting at least 6 times a day. I like to do one post with the product, kind of as a review, as I know some of the leaders also said as well. And then I'll always at night typically do a before and after. But every day I always try to at least talk about a different product. Like, I kind of put like a wraps, like I take a picture with the wraps, and then I'll put a before and after later on in the day. And then on my Instagram video, I'll try to like talk about it, so people know like, hey, I have the product. I've tried it personally, and it's like right in front of them, so you can see it constantly.
So sorry, when you're talking about the video, you're talking about like the Instagram story, is that right?
Yes, the Instagram story. Yeah, it's really easy. You just, it's kind of like, I guess, Facebook. You just kind of record it, and then you can post it. Interacting wise, I always try to do an interacting post, because I'm also pregnant, so I follow a lot of moms who will relate to me, and I'll just put like clothes, like, fashion, maternity shoots, like anything that can relate to anybody. I like to post about it, just to get interaction, because honestly, I cold message, I send messages to people who like my posts, family members. Like, I do a huge mixture of what everybody says, just because, I don't know, it's helped like dramatically for me. So maybe it can help someone else. Like, always interact with people, like their posts, comment on things, like just show you're like someone real. And your page, I encourage you to make it, I don't know, I kind of say like a celebrity, like you want to be interacting, like you're entertaining social media. So no one wants to follow a boring person, like a boring, dull person. So I encourage you to just always be excited about life, have color. Like, I'm trying to like wrap it up as much as possible.
No, you're doing it.
But basically I ran my business basically through Instagram. Typically, all my new loyal customers are kind of strangers. Like, I've had just interactions like a few times with them, sometimes none at all. But I think the videos, like if you hear my voice and you see my face, it's kind of like they already know me, so they're like more likely to place an order with me, if that makes sense. And I always ask for their numbers, so I can either text them, call them, or lately it's actually been FaceTiming. So getting on the phone is actually really good as well. And I always try to place the order for them, as Christy said. So I'm trying to cover all points.
No, you're doing great.
I think that's about it. Yeah, that's basically what I do. Like, it's just always following, posting, interacting, and it'll just have a flow of just new customers, new friends, new relationships, and honestly everything in between. And also another tip, a sense of urgency whenever someone's wanting to buy the product. Like I'll only say like, hey, I have like 2 spots left. Like, do you want it or do you want me to give it to somebody else? And typically people are like, no, like I want it, it's mine. And then the follow-up is really important as well. Like most people, they don't forget, like they want you to follow up. They want you to remember that like, hey, I wanted to try this product, you were going to try it. So that's a huge point as well. And I don't use the loyal customer, I use product trial. Like people for some reason love that because then I'll tell them what they could do in the 3 months of like switching the product and like what perk points they have, like, you know, all the jazz about being a loyal customer. So that's been helping me land customers as well lately. So
that was a perfect way to wrap it up.
Yeah.
That little like flash up. But I love that you kind of pointed out that you just try everything, that you do a big mixture of everything, because I think it really gathers, you know, when you're wanting to enroll, you have to be out there, you have to be sharing the word. And like you said, you're just doing a whole bunch of mixture of everything. And that's when it's starting to fall into place, because you're constantly putting yourself out there. You're constantly building those relationships, constantly posting, making your page attractive. I find all of those tips are so, so, so important. So yeah, I think you pretty much did a great job in covering it all and quickly getting in there.
Thank you.
So thank you so much for sharing all of your wonderful tips. And yeah, thanks for everyone who got on this call, and I hope that you guys learned something and that you took notes. And if you have any questions at all, always feel free to message me, and I will help you the best I can. And I hope everyone has a great night. Bye, guys.
Bye.